So for this video, I would like to discuss the differences between population, sample, and the actual definition of statistics. This course is completely different from your basic math courses and things like that. We don't actually start out with all the formulas that you have to input into. Statistics is a course in which we actually have to make some conclusions and everything. And that's what the definition of statistics is. Statistics is the study of procedures for collecting, describing, and drawing conclusions from information. Meaning that we're gathering all of this information via surveys or telephone calls or just regular databases. We have to describe it, we have to collect it, and then we have to draw these conclusions from it. That is the world of statistics. Now, there's a difference in who we're talking about when we're discussing statistics. There's two different types. There's a population and there's a sample. The population is the entire collection of individuals about which information is sought, meaning it's everything that we are looking at. So this includes all females in the United States, or all of our grades in a class, because that is the population. There's none missing or anything like that. If we have everything, that's going to be a population. A sample is a subset of that population. It's the ones that we actually observe. So for instance, if I have 65 students in a statistics class and I only look at 15 of them, well, those 15 are my sample. The 65 is my population. And so what we do is we actually have a deal where we look at, here's our population, everybody, in other words. So this is my population. And then, for instance, I may take out a small piece of this population and I'll bring it over here to look at a little bit closer. This is my sample. And so when we're talking about population versus sample, again, if I'm talking about myself, I used to run cross country and play basketball. So if I think about my cross country days and I look at all of the times for all of my meets, so this would include all of my times. Okay, my sample might only be my senior year times. Because that is a smaller portion of all of my times. I could also look at it as, let's say, I don't want to look at all of my times or my senior year times. I want to look at just my senior year, and so I will include all of my senior year times. Well, my sample could be my top 5 times for my senior year. Okay, so this is the difference, is if we're looking at everything in that group, then that's going to be a population. If we only look at some of them, for instance, some of our classmates, some of the test scores, some of our homework, some of our times. In other words, if we haven't been able to ask the question of everybody that is described, then that's going to be a sample. If we've been able to collect everything, which is very rare when we're talking about political and things like that. Now, my cross-country times, I could go back and get all of my times from my senior year, or even all of my times. But most of the time, we're going to be discussing a sample. If I want to look at all of my grades, that's going to be a population. If I want to strictly look at my math grades compared to all of my grades, that's going to be a sample. Now, if I specify that I'm strictly looking at all math grades, that's a population. And so we have to be able to distinguish the difference between population and sample. So go ahead and read and practice the homework, and if you have questions, let me know.